Hey everybody, I just wrapped up speaking at OperCon and it was an amazing panel. I was alongside several luminaries in the opera field, in the arts, also business leaders. And what I wanted to make sure folks came away with, we were going to get the nuts and bolts of how to communicate, and it was all about how to avoid communications issues in organizations, especially opera houses and opera organizations. I really wanted us to move beyond the semantics and the tactics and get to the idea of emotional intelligence as a business strategy. And that always begins with emotional literacy. And far too often, we as adults are not in touch with our own emotions, let alone in touch with those of others, so we can't regulate them. We also need to understand that when we see tense emotion in people, or if we can read their body language, it's important to be curious and ask questions, not just push through the communication. The result can be devastating, not just for the individual, but also for your organization. And then finally, I wanted to make sure that these leaders took away one cheat code. When you see anger in someone, it is a mask for fear. So always ask the question, what could they be afraid of? And then finally, an old marketing hack. How many of you know about WIFM? What's in it for me? That's what your employees and leaders are asking each time you roll out any kind of communication. So you need to ask what's in it for them and truly answer the question. Source out the motivators for everyone involved, and that means there needs to be a values alignment. It may not be that everyone is aligned with your corporate values or your organizational values. They have their own. Digging into what those might be, their communication styles, their behavior styles, and also their values will get you to a point where you can actually implement the tactics that make sense. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.